And we are back. Yeah, we were just talking about how would you ever fucking run a company without a phone?
Ha,
Get a bunch of
impossible. I mean,
a bunch of guys running around for you telling
yeah, well, you just lose total efficiency. Like, for example, like I finished up, I sanded 3 jobs on Friday and one today. Started a couple, working on a couple today. So I
Mhm.
get home, sit on the couch, go on QuickBooks, 4 invoices,
Yep.
5 minutes, done. You
Yeah.
know, I run my business off my cell phone. Like
Same.
sometimes I get like insurance stuff that like they have these like portals and crap that you can't open via phone. So
Yeah.
like over there, I'm working on an office for the first time. You know, day one of starting my business, go out and buy a Mac Mini computer while I'm
Yeah.
living in my in-laws' basement, saving money for our wedding, thinking I'm like, ooh, I'm a business owner now. I need a computer. I need this. I need that. And what I didn't realize is like I just need to get the work and get the fucking work done, not buy all this bullshit that means nothing.
Yeah. It
So
was
here I
shock.
am trying to
That
build
was
my Mac Mini for the first time in 9 years, and I can't even use it because like the freaking mouse pad sees shut. I can't change the batteries, and I'm like
okay.
just trying to repurpose what I already have just so I can just I don't know
Yeah.
have an
Oh,
office.
open these fucking portals. Yeah, it was shocking. My cousin was the big eye opener there about owning the business where I was like, dude, that's not me. I fucking had a desk job. I hate computers. I don't own a fucking computer.
Yeah,
And he pulls out his phone and was like, look at this. It's QuickBooks. It's on my
yeah,
phone. I take pictures of my fucking receipts and I go to work.
yeah.
And
I
that's it.
didn't.
And he is flourishing. He's doing
Okay.
just fine.
He does the receipt download, all that stuff.
Yeah,
So I didn't like
it's mint.
I thought about that, but to be honest, so the way I track everything, I have 2 business credit cards.
That's
Everything
smart.
goes on the business credit card. Now,
Yeah.
if it's Home Depot or Lowe's, those are those business accounts. And then from there, the business checking account pays the business credit card. So I don't use my business checking
Yeah.
account for anything other than paying contractors and paying the credit card bill.
Yeah, so you've got an itemized everything all the time because
Yeah.
that's all coming from that credit card, and then you're just lump summing it out. That's smart.
And
It's a smart
and
way
I
to
get
do it.
2% back. So you start putting 100K in
Oh yeah,
material on a credit
yeah,
card with no limit. Put it this
yeah.
way, I just signed up for Chase Inc. They said you put 6 grand on the credit card in 3 months, we'll give you $900. I'm like, oh man, that pays for most of my festival.
Yeah.
Nice, thank you.
I'm in, he says. I want to get back to talking about fresco.
Yeah,
You've got a bathroom there. It looks
yep.
like that was all fresco, it looks like.
No, that was not fresco. That was
Oh,
sorry, it's not. That was the reason I contacted Nick because I wanted to learn
yeah.
about. So that stuff was $1,000 a bucket, and we had 10 buckets on that job.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so is that Venetian plaster?
No,
Okay, so
I
what was
don't.
that?
So that it's called this company called Dominion. They're kind of so from what I never purchased the product. I was just here's the product,
Yeah,
do
put it
it.
on the wall. Yeah, I get
Put
it.
it on the wall. Have you ever done this before? No. Okay. All right. So here we are with the guest suite bathroom on an 8,000 square foot house in Simsbury, Connecticut, all post and
Hmm.
beam. We've already done a beige aggregate plaster on the entire surface, which was 2 coats. Now this bathroom was 3 coats. So
Right.
what the stuff is, it comes, you get the plaster, comes in like a 3 gallon or a 3.5 gallon bucket.
Sure.
That's like $800 or $900 for the bucket. Because this stuff's coming from Italy, going to Texas, rebranding, upcharging, shipping it to Connecticut.
Sure.
So yeah. So then you get that and you got a dye. So it'd be like a look
And
like
then
a
you're
brownish.
coloring it yourself.
Yeah, we're mixing our dye and doing everything ourselves. So what we would do is we would take the bucket of powder and we take I don't know exactly how much dye it was. It would fit in maybe a half-gallon Ziploc bag
Sure,
per
yeah.
bucket,
Yeah.
and we would disperse it in 4 separate buckets and mix it up slowly in different like because what happens is you can't put all that stuff on at once because it dries up so fast. You're not mixing up full buckets. You're mixing up what you think you can get done in a 4 hour period
So it's like
because
90 but 4 hours.
you have no idea. You're every wall, every day is different depending on what you're doing, because that bathroom was floor, threshold, shower, niche, ceiling, no trim,
Yeah.
wall to ceiling, every
It
single corner
it looks
was.
fucking dope
So
anyways,
now,
but
so now you try to figure out how your process is going to be to do a wet on wet plaster. So initial coat is you apply the plaster, kind of burnish it. You're applying it with a pool trowel, and
right.
you're going back and forth, and you don't want to skim it out like regular mud,
Yeah, you're getting that
you
texture to it. You're getting the
seeing
swirls.
those lines. It might make a hard line.
Yeah.
And when you're putting that on, you're taking a tile sponge and you're distressing it and smoothing it out. So that's coat one. That's easy. That's easy street. Okay. Coat 2 and 3 is simultaneous. So what you're doing is you're doing the same thing with the mud, and then you're sponging it out, but then you're wetting it to get slightly tacky.
And then coming right back in.
And you're coming right back, and as that is setting up, within maybe 10 minutes of that stuff being applied, you're burnishing it.
What does that mean?
So burnishing it with a trowel. So distressing marks, this,
Oh
that.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
remember watching this dude, like even the way Nick does it, but I've also remember watching this other dude on Instagram, exotic wall finishes with the Venetian plaster.
Yeah.
So that little, that's, I mean, I'm not a plaster guy, but that's what we were doing. So you do one wall at a time, and then you tape off that wall, you do the next wall because you get a crisp corner. Because
Makes
you
sense.
can't stand it, you can't grind it, you can't do
Yeah.
anything after it's done. So then now you figure out how you're gonna do a floor wet on wet.
Right.
So
Yeah,
you're
you can't.
literally,
But
no,
yeah.
you are, but it was like I'm standing here, I'm standing there, I'm like standing on cardboard, like I'm just trying to not fuck up what I just did 30
Yeah.
minutes ago, and I'm going back and doing this. So now that whole entire bathroom, after it's all done, it gets wax sealed.
Okay.
That's why
That's
it's
what that was
waterproof,
my
and
next
that's why you
question
can do
was
it in the shower. So
waterproofing. Yeah.
so this goes back. We did this last January, 2022. Um,
But
I
what did
asked
that pay? Like, is it some extraordinary amount that you're getting for that,
I
or
mean,
was it?
I was charging $100 an hour to do that.
Yeah,
So I got 6K. I think I had 6K in that bathroom alone
it
because it
looks
wasn't just.
fucking. It looks dope.
I didn't just do that. I also went in there and took my DeWalt angle grinder with a diamond blade because the whole bathroom was tiled already.
Okay.
So the whole floor, anyways. I went in there, ground down the finish off the tile. I went back and I ran thin set and 36-inch fiber fused mesh on
Yep.
the floor. Got
Nice.
that done, skimmed it out, went over with another coat of thin set, scraped it, grinded it down smooth. And then every finish before this plaster is applied is with a quartz primer, which
Okay.
I don't ask me what the quartz primer was. Honestly, I don't know what the hell that is.
Same.
Well, it's a fucking hard. It's quartz. I don't know. It's a hard ass primer.
Sure.
So like, because even in the rest of the house, we did quartz primer everywhere. So like the other drywall company came in, tear away, finished everything off. Super cool dudes, older, like mid 60s, talking to the guy, never used a Festool, and he's like, I'm like, dude, try the Festool. He's like, bullshit. And he tried it out, and he's like, holy crap, man, that
Those are
thing's
my
off.
favorite guys. Those are my
Yeah.
favorite guys.
Same thing with him with the no coat. Everyone's nailing corner beat up still. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. Get the
Stop.
fuck out of here with that.
Metal corner bead is the worst product ever invented unless you mesh it with Durabond.
I call it dinosaur bead because it is fucking
dude,
should be dead in the
cracks.
past.
It
Yeah.
always cracks.
Yeah.
No matter what. I mean, maybe verticals don't crack as much, but as soon as your kid whacks that,
exactly. That's exactly my fucking problem with it.
you're
Other than
like
being all cut to fuck trying to put it in because it's steel.
yeah.
When somebody nudges into it, you got to cut the whole fucking thing out.
I mean, I'll take a flat edge piece of steel and bang it with a hammer, flatten it out, float it out with some Durabond, and make it look nice. It's not perfect,
but still, that's fucking
not
brutal to do. Yeah.
But so, anyways, we're over there, and then so they did all that, and then we did all this. Like I think it was like 60, because it was 2 coats, so it ended up being like 60,000 square feet of me going whoosh, whoosh, whoosh,
Jesus
mixing
Christ.
it all, putting it on, dude. That was a year. That was 2020. That was COVID.
Yeah.
I feel bad. The drywall guy that I'm talking about, the festival, like the tile guy gave him COVID, and he gave it to his wife, and his wife actually passed away from COVID.
Oh,
It was
fuck.
terrible. and then go back, double back to that job site and see him working and knowing he just lost his wife and he's
Oh
on
yeah.
job site 2 weeks later. I'm like, oh my God. I like, how are you here, man? Like, terrible. Like, drywall guy to the very end. Like, just
Yeah.
doesn't. I wouldn't have gone. Drywall killed my wife. I'm not going back to drywall, but that's all he knows. So,
Wow. Or he strangles that plumber to death.
yeah, well, tile
Yeah,
guy, tile
yeah,
guy.
or whoever. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's crazy shit.
Yeah,
So
but that was,
have you done any fresco then?
no, I talked to Nick. He sent me my color pack, but I've just been swamped because, like, I did work for like I'm a drywall guy, but like I kind of know how to do a lot of stuff.
Same.
I
Yeah.
dive
Yeah.
into it, I figure it out. I frame my whole basement, like, don't get a magnifying glass, but I cover up with drywall and tape it, finish it nice. It'll be perfect. So
Yeah.
whatever,
You
you
know the
know.
taper anyways.
I
Yeah.
know the taper. That's my because I'll do 10, 12, 15 sheet bathrooms by myself,
Yeah.
and I'll hang a bathroom in 3 hours and tape it and have it 3 coat by the end of the day, double back the next day, turn it around in 18 hours.
Jesus
So, like,
Christ.
I do so much Durbond work, and that's why I was telling you about. I bought that Columbia angle head because I want to run Durbond through it and do all Durbond and then skim it tight with mud. Um,
Yeah. I mean, if you ran an angle head, no, do you mean an angle head or do you mean
a
a
flusher,
flusher? Like
flusher,
yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
not an
So
angle head. I would
it,
never put Durbond through a $400 angle head.
I just mean
I
you'd
honestly, I
have to
would.
clean it off a lot.
You run 92. You guys ever see 210 up your way?
No. What?
Durbon?
No, 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 no. 210. So what is it? It's like in 2 hours it's good,
Yeah, or whenever it
roughly.
feels like being. But that Durabon shit doesn't. Durabon, the time frames doesn't. Yeah,
It
you go
doesn't
to Home
mean 90
Depot.
minutes, but yeah,
Doesn't
I
mean
know.
anything.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
some.
yeah.
You put that on a painted surface that hasn't been primed. That 90's 110. That 90's 210.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
yeah, on the surface it's dry, but it hasn't bonded and cured to the actual paint or the surface yet. So, and then if you mix up with dirty water, you get a bad batch. Like I've had 20
Yep.
minute dirt bond with clean water dry up in 5 minutes
Yes.
or
Yeah.
45 dry up in 20. So even like you take USG compound, or that's what I use. I use green lids and top coat with +3, but
Okay.
every batch is different. You go
Yeah.
the one store to the other, you don't know what you're going to get. So
Well,
it's
and
like,
where was it stored and how was it shipped and what fucking
exactly. And
temperature
you
was
talk
it? And
about
there's a lot of fucking things to think about.
there's too many variables to have one set way of doing everything. There's too
Yeah.
many variables. You can't, and that's why like price wise, even so like with pricing, like I'm material, labor plus margin. That's how I run my stuff. I can't do by the board
Yeah.
because it's there's too much renovation stuff.
Well, in my opinion, with that kind of stuff is, you need to pay yourself to do the work, and then
Yep.
your company needs to be paid for doing that work. You're not
Yeah.
the same as what the company is. You got to wrap your head around that, where, your labor is X amount, your materials is X amount, whatever other charges you have is X amount, and then
Yep.
you blanket a percentage on all of that. And that's what
That's
the
what I do,
company
man.
takes on.
That's the
And if it's 10%, whatever. If it's 30%, that's probably a lot closer to where people are leaning, right? Where,
yeah.
and then when something comes up, you've got a little bit of a nest egg in your company now where you're able to do things. With the guys that don't do that, they're like, okay, I'm just going to charge materials, I'm going to charge labor. But when extra labor comes up, you either have to fucking fight with your customers to get that money back or more money, or your site just stops, or you go, okay, we've got a buffer here at 30% that the company's taking. Let's move ahead with it because we're not out any money yet, and then have that argument while everything progresses.
Yeah.
That my first year, man, I got fucking killed a couple of times with that, where I was just doing everybody favors. And
Yeah.
at the end of
How
the
many
day,
jobs? How many jobs like we'll go drywall related because that's more
yeah,
familiar with.
sure.
Have you done drywall jobs where you actually lost money?
Oh, buddy. Okay, so we had I'm going to be specific so it doesn't, I'm not going to be specific because it was just a bad
Yeah,
scene,
no,
but
gotcha.
they brought me in, they had a framer that came in and overcharged, and they didn't want him doing the drywall because he didn't know what he was doing. So I had to come in, fix all of and I was very clear. I will get you to the point where we can drywall this at an hourly rate, and then I'll do a board foot price for all the rest of it. And no problem, we keep coming back, no problem, no problem, no problem. And then I get the drywall done, and I hand him the extras, and he goes, it was like $1,500 or something. There was a lot of work to be done to get us to where we needed to be.
Yep.
And his answer was like, "Oh, I thought all of this was covered."
Yeah. Oh
And then
yeah.
so now
Oh,
we're starting the job $1,500 behind.
okay.
You know what I mean? And then you get into how far am I, as things progress. Now I go 30% at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30% at the beginning, period, before I even start.
Every
And
single contractor, builder, no matter what the situation.
yeah.
Okay.
And then we go 30%, 30%, and then that final 10 is whatever. It's
Yeah.
you give me that whenever.
See, I've never done
60
that,
days
man.
or some shit. Well,
I've
but you
never.
have to, right? Because it's like it, when you're doing small jobs, because if you don't, once there is a power thing that happens, and it as the installer, you don't see it, but a lot of customers fucking see it, where they know that you've put in more than what they've paid you for. And now, we kind of feel like you should do this and this and this too, because you're already here. You're the drywall guy. We want some changes. We want fucking whatever
Oh,
they want. That's different because they
yeah.
got you by the balls, because they got a 30% that they haven't paid you yet. And
Yeah.
that possibly you've earned, right?
Okay.
So now they're going to get a little bit of extra stuff out of you. It's just really tough, man. I walked away from $2,500 the one time, because I'm like, I'm
Really?
not fucking doing this, because it
Yeah.
was every step of the way. As soon as the payment came, there was this tidal wave of extra shit they wanted. And then,
All right.
oh, and what about this? And will I be there with the inspectors for other stuff? And like, they just wanted so much, and were super hesitant to pay. So I just packed up my shit and I left.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
that,
sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm like,
that was it. Yeah.
honestly, like I've been so fortunate over the last 8, 9 years, and I don't ask for any money up front, no matter what the situation. I mean, most
Hmm.
of my jobs, I want to say, we're averaging 3, 5K. You know,
Well, and you
you
said
know,
you're in and out in fucking 18 hours, some of these sites too. So that, that's not too bad. You don't,
well, put it this way, like, yeah, I did two. I just did. I mean, I've been posting stuff on social media, but like, I did like a kitchen. 10. It was like 10 boards. It was
hmm
like 12 by 16. So what I do is I load up the sheetrock, because I can get it delivered, but like a lot of these jobs are like kind of short-term notices based
yeah,
on inspectors, because inspectors around here are like they're the kings. I don't know why.
yeah.
I don't know why they think they're the kings of the world, the building world, because honestly, like,
Any kind
why
of power, man. Any kind of
why are they
power. And
expecting
people
for 60K
fucking,
a year and not just be doing it? I
yeah.
don't get it. So it'll be like, hey, it's ready tomorrow. All right. So instead of getting it delivered, which cost me 75 to $100,
hmm
um, I just load it in my van. I just stop at Home Depot or Lowe's box store, depending on what I need. Like one job, I needed some 54, so I went to my supply house. Um, Load that up. I'm like, all right, meet my sheetrockers, 3-man crew. They met me there at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Boom.
I unloaded the drywall. I went and did an estimate, same town, because I plan everything based on what town I'm in, because I do so much work all over the place, hour
Yeah.
away. I got to be efficient as possible, so the jobs will be grouped together as I do them, and I will start furthest away from home and work my way back home.
Yeah. Smart.
Um, so we load the job, they hang it, I go do an estimate, I come back, I clean up, I vacuum up, I 3 coat it in 3 hours. It's like 1, 2, 3, like 8 corner bead, 3 coat everything. So I'm running mesh with Durabond,
hmm
skimming it out second coat with Durabond again, and then going over a top coat with +3, and
Yeah. All
then give
purpose.
yeah, all purpose.
Yeah.
No, the +3 is not all purpose.
Oh, okay.
Plus three is
Yeah.
the blue
We
coat.
don't have that up here. I just
No,
thought,
you don't have that.
yeah.
You guys got like light blue, or like, what do you guys got for like kind of the midweight, lightweight
So
stuff?
we've got CGC and we've got Certainteed.
Okay.
Certainteed kind of just seems to have the bucket that's whatever all purpose, and then CGC's got like machine mud and lightweight, and
Yep.
they got the green bar like the dust. They've got an all purpose.
Okay. So
I
not too much lightweight stuff. Okay. So anyways, I do that, and then I give it 2 days to dry. I double back, get there, and I sand it out, and within like 2.5 hours, ballpark.
wow. Yeah.
Sanded, vacuum, done. So like the amount of time I have in that job is, I got 6, 7 hours in that job.
Mm-hmm.
I build out, my materials like $400, and my guys are, hey, they haven't billed me for the job, but if I had to guess, they're probably $400. So, I mean, I'm making decent money there, I'm like
Mm-hmm.
making a grand and, like grand $1,100 in 7 hours.
Yeah, I watched a YouTube video one time about a guy that strictly does that kind of handy stuff. Like, now he does everything, like, literal jack of all trades. But he had this discussion about having three small jobs in a day is a real easy way to make 2 grand. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or whatever. And you can pull in a stupid amount of money doing that. There's just a lot of travel, and you've got
Yeah.
to make it, you really do have to be on the ball with your time, which it sounds like you are.
I put it this way,
Um,
I'm 3 weeks out. I have every day, job by job, hour by hour.
nice.
I know how long every single
Yeah.
job's gonna take me, no
Solid
matter what
schedule.
job it is.
Yeah.
Like, even as far as I don't go and even price jobs anymore.
Yeah.
Like, all my contractors just give me work and I build them, and usually it's fine. Sometimes there's an issue, we
Yeah.
figure it out. They say, "Oh, this is a deal breaker," and then they call me back the next week. So,
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, and that's the thing. The amount of people that talk to me in that first year of like, oh, we got so much work. Like, I don't want any more fucking work from you if it doesn't pay.
Yeah.
Like, you could give me 10 years of work, but if I'm not making any fucking money, what
Yeah.
do I want any more work from you for?
Well,
Like,
that's
and
it. Like,
I think that people think this, like, uh, the philosophy of like, you got to eat or you're going to die. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like you have to have this job because this is the only place the work's coming from. There's a lot of fucking work out there. Like, they're saying there's a labor shortage. There's no work shortage, right?
no.
And that's kind of where I'm starting to come from with this. Everybody needs to kind of band together a little bit and go,
Yeah, especially
you
the
know,
drywall guys, because we were at the bottom of the barrel for so many years. Just the drywall, like, listen to podcasts like John Goodman being a pop drywall guy and Roseanne's like, we're the
yeah,
bottom of the barrel, like
yeah,
the dirty like drywall monkeys, whatever you want to call us. But like, you look at the trades like electricians and plumbers, and you watch them take their sweet ass fucking
yeah.
time, fucking get paid top dollar,
So
and we're hustling. We're just
this
straight
is,
up hustling every day, and I'm like, my prices are comparable to electricians.
yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. I'm
you
more
know,
than electricians.
like,
100%.
I don't need, like, the way I'd run stuff is go back to labor, material, and margin.
Hmm.
Like, I know, put it this way, I subcontracted for like a lot of years. Like, before I really started getting all my own work, I was subbing for 3, 4 years, and for my father-in-law, another drywall guy. I still do pick up a house here and there because I don't pursue the houses because new construction builders around here are cheap.
Yeah.
They're so cheap. They don't want to pay for anything. They know, like, well, and a lot of the the contractors around here in their 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Yeah.
So they're remembering prices from the 90s.
Yeah. $20
You
an
know,
hour is a lot of money. Well, no,
so
it's not.
no, it's
It
not.
was fucking 20 years ago, maybe,
Yeah. I'm like,
maybe.
you look at the price of a truck, dude. I remember that truck I bought in November of 2007 was the '07 Ram, and it had
Mm,
15,000 miles. I paid 25 grand for that. I just bought a new pickup truck. Like,
yeah, me too.
I
And it
just bought a new
hurts.
pickup truck in September because I had that same truck and it starts not starting. And I'm like, I got everything fixed, but I can't be dead in a car on the side of the road.
No,
So I'm like, you can't buy a pickup truck for less than 60 grand now, you
for a
know?
piece of shit, for like a
Well,
fucking bare
your
bones,
Canadian
like
prices are
absolutely
different than our
nothing in
US
it.
prices.
Oh
Our
yeah, good
60
call,
grand,
good
you're 80
call.
grand. So,
I was gonna say,
no.
yeah, that's like where you if you want the fucking truck that you want that's comfortable, it's like 100 grand.
Yeah. I
Fucking
mean,
nuts. It's
I wanted
fucking
a three
nuts.
quarter ton truck to tow my camper.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, I'm not spending 75, $80,000 or your 100,000.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
that's crazy. And then, like, interest rates rising and stuff. Like, even I have a Ram Pro Master that you commented about how, we were talking like the cleanliness and organization of that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that I bought that 20, that's a 2015, and I bought that for 37K. That same van's 51 now.
Yeah. Wow.
So, I mean, you think about margins and costs of running a business nowadays, dude.
Hmm.
So I was doing work for a developer. When I worked for that one larger commercial company, we were doing all resident. I was working for them 2013 into 2014. They were commercial guys. The guy I came on board with, that was their cousin's company. He was a residential and commercial guy.
Yeah, same. That's
No,
me.
they're not. They just said screw the residential. We don't make any money here.
That's right.
We're running a 70-person operation doing, a big company. 70 guy. I mean, that's a good sized drywall company.
That's a fucking solid numbers, man. Yeah. I got a
So
buddy that's doing that right now. He's fucking did 18 million last year.
are you serious? I
So,
can't imagine being in those shoes because the stress
oh,
involved.
he's fucking I shouldn't say too much about it. I don't know if he wants all the
Don't
numbers out,
worry. Well, anyways,
but
it
the
just
type of
sounds
guy
like,
that he is, it's like,
yeah,
yeah, it's like he chews on stones. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like the stress doesn't seem to affect some people, and some people it's just crushing.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. I'm like
yeah.
kind of in the middle, like depending. Like when I first went on my own, it was like, yeah, this is stressful, and now it's just like,
It's
fuck it,
Tuesday.
whatever happens, happens. I just started taking like I'd take long weekends for vacations,
Yep.
go to Canada, go here, go there.
Yeah,
Last
but
year was the
the
first year I took a week off. First year in
yeah,
since 13
5 years
to
for me.
14.
Yeah, five
Okay.
years for me. Last year was the first time that I actually got on a plane and went and took a vacation, full week
You,
vacation, 10,
you were
eight
able to get on
days.
a plane. My wife doesn't fly, so I
Mhm.
drive. So
Yeah,
last
driving
year we
school.
went on
Yeah,
the
I actually drove out there with my buddy. He lives out there. He drove his truck because he wanted his bike and his dog out here. They come for
okay.
fucking 3 weeks or whatever. So I hopped
Yep.
in with him and we drove across Canada in 3 days, basically.
Really?
But
All
I
right.
flew home. I'm fucking. That's enough for me.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I did 8 years of driving to Florida, which is like 20 to
Yeah,
27 hours.
yeah.
We did Hilton Head and South Carolina, and
Hilton Head's nice.
yeah, in Florida last year with the kids. First time road trip with the kids. We took 2 days down there. They were like, it's Friday. I'm like, let's spend an extra night.
Yeah.
And we drove straight through, and I'm like, never doing that again.
No,
Not
it's
with the
not.
kids. I could handle it. It sucked. I was driving
Yes.
through New York City at 1:30 in the morning, like felt like I was just like trash because I was just so overtired.
Yeah.
We left it. So now I'm like, this year I'm like, well, I have the ability to finally just go to all my contractors and go, hey, I already told them all already. I'm gone from April 30th till or April 28th through May 7th.
Yeah. Well,
So
and the answer there is figure it out.
yeah,
If you are so fucking in need of me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you ought to be paying for that.
yeah.
Right?
Well,
Like
they
there's a
are.
million fucking guys here that can do the job, but if it has to be me and there's always bullshit when I want to take time off, then you should be paying a premium.
Yeah,
Full
but I also
stop.
have a fear thing. I say yes to everything, man. I have a fear
Yeah.
of, you know, I watched my father-in-law go
Yeah.
through that like recession period. So like I say yes, except for that once 600 board sheet house. I say yes
Hmm.
to everything and always.
Yeah.
I just figure it out.
So the things took off so quickly that first year that by the end of that first year, I was turning down 15 jobs a week.
Wow.
Just cannot facilitate.
Yeah. I
Sorry.
mean,
Like
over
I
here in
wasn't,
Connecticut,
what's that?
we haven't had a housing boom in a long time, you
Yeah,
know?
it's insane out here. And I wasn't even doing builders. That was just like people getting a hold of me. Like
Okay.
there are like if I had 10 of me, I could be busy all year
All right.
every if but it has to be me. Like I've
So
brought other
it's not
people in and they're
everybody, not everybody is in your situation then out
no,
there.
no, I don't think so, man. Because like the fucking the guys that can come in and bang out a house in whatever time and it's like half acceptable, there is a place for that.
Yeah.
Right? Where they're just like these fucking, yeah, well, okay, the drywall shit, well, so's the framing and so's the fucking everything else in this house. That's why it costs so little to the builder. And then the builders do that on purpose because it's fucking whatever. That I want
Yeah.
to be nowhere near that, you know?
Well, that's like why I haven't pursued new construction homes around here because it's like
It's all trash.
it's just you know you can't do the product you want because you're not getting paid what you want.
No.
You know, and that's I when the company I worked for before they transitioned out of residential, and then I went on my own. One of the builders, he brought me on. And I had the finishing contract, not contract, but the finishing aspect of the job. He's As a builder, he went from hiring a whole drywall company that had set contract prices per model unit stemming back 10 years.
Hmm.
So, and he's not a builder. He was a chef in Jersey and
I
took
know the
over,
type. I
met
know the
his
type.
wife, met his wife and his father. Her father was a builder, and then he just ended up as a builder.
Now I'm a
He
builder. Yeah.
doesn't lift a fucking finger or a broom or anything, and like here you are,
Yeah.
nickel and diming me, and then getting the material, hiring me as the finisher, hiring the sub, and here we are, middle of winter. He won't even plastic off the
Yeah.
garage with 6 mil or provide heat. And I'm like,
Jesus
dude, that
Christ.
part of being a drywall contractor is taking care of your subs on
That's
site,
right.
and you want me to do it, and you're telling me
Yeah,
I'm
for
at
the
one.
for the fuck all that you're paying me because
That's it.
that's what you
I'm
want
at
to do here.
Yeah. So like last year, I was doing a development for him, and then same thing, putting wet trusses in fall,
Hmm.
temporary
Yeah.
propane heat. And I
They heat
go,
up and
dude,
fucking
your
twist all the
cathedral
fuck.
ceiling is all gonna fucking crack.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I'll take care of it when it comes. So here we are, springtime,
Well,
everything's
hold on.
cracked.
He'll take care of it when it comes if they sue him.
Oh no, he made me go back and fix it
Oh,
for
he
free.
does? Oh, fuck, that's stupid. Okay.
So I went back and I told him I wouldn't do it. So I
Yeah.
said I had a job site where I had, I didn't have a dumpster on site. So I was like, all right,
Hmm.
fine, I'll fucking take care of it. Let me use your dumpster for some scrap. All right. So I do
Yeah.
that. Then he goes, hey, but while you're doing that house, I got a repair next door. The plumber forgot to plumb out the freaking stem for the washer dryer. Okay, go over there, do that for free.
Yeah.
Then here
No.
we are, he tells me I was whacking him 20 was that 20 bucks $18 a board in the first development, and then he moves up to this new development that we're talking about.
$18 a board.
Yeah, dude.
Oof.
Finish Finishers out here are getting paid 12, like 14, 16 a board on average.
It's like 25 cents. What is that?
Yeah.
Something like
uh
that.
48 divided by 12, we're probably looking at 30 cents,
Okay, so
35.
the highest job I got was $2.
Okay. So yeah, so
Like
that's
that's
what
a
they're getting paid.
fucking vast
Put
difference.
it this way, like my father-in-law still does all new construction, dude. He's getting like low 60s.
Yeah, and but that's solid because if it's framed properly and whatever. Okay, so I want to go back to what we were talking about where drywallers have this bad view, you know what I mean? And I want to explain to you why I think that's true and see what you think about it because I feel like people that don't fit in and people that fucking have no other choice, there's this giant funnel that they fall into and it lands in drywall. Because do you know what I mean? You're too fucking stupid to do anything else, and you don't
Yeah.
want to do anything else, and it's not quite. It's the next step up from laboring, I guess. Hanging drywall.
Yeah.
And then there are a lot of us that are capable, and then from those kind of ashes, you spring. Now you can do actual what if you hang drywaller, or like sorry, if you hang drywall, and that is what you do in my opinion, you are a drywall hanger. You are
Yeah.
not a quote unquote drywaller. I am a drywaller. I can frame, board, tape, prime, and I
Yep.
can do corrections to work without it being a fucking massacre. Right?
Yeah.
That to me is what a drywaller is, right? You can do drywall, all of it, front to back. If somebody tells me that they're a carpenter, that means that they can build a house or they could build a jewelry box
Okay.
very, very well. And if you're not, stop calling yourself that. Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? No,
I do know what I know what you're saying. So,
yeah. Because there are
so
guys that are calling themselves drywallers out there, and they are this cannon fodder that is hurting the industry, right? The guys that they're not showing up to kick ass every day; they're showing up for attendance,
yeah.
and they're the guys not showing up. That kind of stuff. Like the now and please don't get me wrong when I say things like that. There are guys that hang and finish. Not everybody needs to frame. You know
No.
what I mean? There's no need for that.
I
And
mean,
then
I've never framed steel or anything. Like I do
yeah,
light wood framing, but I've never framed steel.
yeah.
I've been around it enough, but like never had my hands really on a steel stud ever before.
So, and I think that stems from finishers that started in residential. Somebody's building that home, right?
Yep.
Drywallers that started in commercial, typically you are framing too.
Yeah.
That
Well,
you
that's
know
like
what I mean? Like the
the union
drywall
versus
company
the paint
frame
union
board
here.
tape. Yeah. So the other part of that is the guys that are doing the frame, the board, the tape are typically all the same person in commercial, where drywalling and finishers like you guys are, that's what you do, that's what you're good at, because that not a lot of people are, right? So in the residential market, that's where I'm seeing these epic finishers coming from, because
Yeah.
you're to the point where you fully understand everything, and then you're doing it at such a speed that it's staggering, right? For when I started talking openly about the board footage that guys were doing, I was like, what the fuck do you mean you're doing that in 5 days? And they're like, yeah, like we do that all day long, all year long for the last 5 years. Like it's the amount of board foot that guys can put out is fucking staggering.
Well, I
But
mean,
it's because they are finishers. Like they
yeah,
are, that is what they do. They're aces at it.
yeah.
It's yeah, but I mean that, go be a drywaller and that's the scum of the earth. Well, no, it's not, right? In every industry has that, like where the misfits go.
Hmm.
But that's not what drywallers are. And I think it's becoming more and more evident now, like especially in some of these groups where you get guys that can do everything, and you got guys that are really good at certain parts of it. They can't be lumped in the same as guys that are sent out of town to hang board. That's not the
No.
same.
Well, I mean,
That's
so
it's just
I came from all residential and
yeah,
pretty much 20 years of residential.
yeah,
So, you know, doing 400 sheet houses, and that was most of it. Now I'm doing my own thing. I focus on renovation just because, like I said, the builders are tough to deal with around here as far as
totally.
new build developments. Um, but I do, I've worked for a lot of guys that came from the commercial world where they're the carpenters union and then we're
Hmm.
the painters union and then
Yep.
I was never union. Like I never touched the union. I barely worked
Same.
for another company for you. Like I've been working essentially for myself forever,
Yeah.
you know, but I watched when I worked for these larger companies like that 70-man crew, and the board that was getting put up was garbage.
Yeah. And it's
And
impossible
they
to
were doing
walk
like
in after
40,
that.
50 sheets a day for two guys. And I'm like, I know my crew right now will do 100. Two guys will do 100 sheets a day easily. Like I always thought that, like, my wife's uncle up in Canada, he lived down here in Connecticut, then he moved back up there, and then he was a finisher. I started with him. Then the other uncle, he was down here. He was a solo 50 sheet board guy a day,
That's
you know,
nuts.
and it's like now he's up in Canada and he's back into doing steel framing because he's in his 60s. So
Yeah.
and that's what a lot of the guys around here are. It's like a lot of the guys are retiring, man. They're all like 50, 60, 70 right now, and they're all retiring.
Okay, that is a good time to take it, but we're gonna have to come back because I got a few more
Right.
things to say.
All right, yeah, dude. Like I said, I could do this all day, but I'm sure a wife
Yeah,
will.
yeah, at some point a Kleenex box is gonna hit you on the side of the head.
Oh no, she knew I had this. She's good with it, but it's still at the same time.
All right, we'll be right back.